Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League playthrough, Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. We are at the first game of April 26th that's on the schedule. It is game number 121. I actually have 120 written on here, but the Strat computer, is telling me I've already played 120 games. So this is 121, even though it says 120 on the score sheet. So I'll have to fix that later. But that's where we're at the moment. It is Milwaukee against Baltimore, Orioles and the Brewers, final game of the series between these two teams. Brewers come to the game in first place in the American League East, 14-2, and the Orioles are 6-12. Starting pitchers: Mike Birkbeck for the Brewers and Mike Flanagan for the Orioles. So a couple of Mikes starting in this game. Ballpark effects for Milwaukee: singles are 1-6 for both left and right. Home runs are 1-5, both left and right. Birkbeck comes to the game 3-0. Mike Flanagan, I'll get his record when he gets ready to pitch. Pitcher catcher hold interface +3 is the combination for Birkbeck and the Brewers, where Flanagan is a -2. Let's see. Wild pitch for Birkbeck is a 9, balks a 0. Wild pitch for Flanagan is a 4, and balks a 0. There you see the starting lineups: Gerhardt in left, Wiggins at second, Ripken at short, Murray at first, Lynn in center, Knight at third, Kennedy catching, Sheets in right, and Jim Dwyer, the designated hitter. Hello, Midlife. How are you doing? For the Brewers, Milder at third, Yount at center, Braggs in right, Deere in left, Cooper the DH, Swain at short, Schroeder the catcher, Pachorik at first base, and Castillo at second. Now, Molitor will be injured for about a month in a couple of days. I looked it up. He actually pulled a hamstring when he was going through his home run trot against Oakland. He had a home run against Oakland, and he apparently pulled a hamstring and missed nearly 30 games. And that's why the Brewers tanked in May, because Molitor wasn't there, and it really just took their whole starch out of their lineup. So we'll see how they do. Right now they're 14-2 in real world. They were 15-1. But right now they are 15-2. All right, let's go to the Strat computer. I'll get the full numbers on Mike Birkbeck. He is 3-0 with a 2.41 earned run average, 19 innings pitched, 16 hits, 8 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So Birkbeck lines things up. Ken Gerhardt will be the Oriole batter to lead things off. Gerhardt hitting .259. 5 homers and 10 runs batted in. So some late Sunday night action here in Strat-O-Matic, 1987. And we're underway. We had a 3-8 for Gerhardt, and that's a 1-2 triple, but anything else he flies to center, that's a 4, so he's going to miss out. It will just be a fly to center that Robin Yount will haul in with no problem, 1 away. Hello, Mr. Scarborough. How are you doing? So Gerhardt flies to center, and here comes Alan Wiggins. Had been DHing most of the season, but today they've got him at second. I think they're getting tired of Rick Burleson at second. So they put Wiggins at second and Dwyer as the DH. Wiggins is hitting a .189, a homer and 6 driven in. That's a 5-7. Switch here batting left. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Swain. He's a 3 E25. 3 and an E25. 3 and 16 is good all day long. A 3 and 16 is a G1, which would be obviously nobody on base, so it's just regular ground out. Swain is an E25 at short, so he's got to avoid 4, 13, 17, and 18. And he does with a 10 there, so that's no problem. So Swain handles a tough hop and will throw out the speedy Wiggins for out number 2. 2 down for Cal Ripken. And Ripken on the replay is struggling at .217. 3 homers and 8 driven in. He hit .252 in real world for the season. Right now he's struggling at .217. That's a 5-8, and that's a base on balls. So Ripken will draw the free pass. He will not be held. And here comes Eddie Murray, cleanup hitter for the Orioles. Murray's hitting .284, 4 homers, 9 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. And that's 4-8. And that's a single to right field. So Eddie Murray will single. Now let's see. Ripken not being held makes him a 15. With 2 outs, he's a 17. Right field to third base is 2 more, makes him a 19. Braggs is a 17. -2 make him a 17. But they're going to go ahead and let Ripken take third base because they want to hold Murray at first, keep him out of scoring position. So it's going to be a base hit for Murray, and Ripken will hustle over to third. So 2 on, 2 outs, runners at the corners. Murray not going to be held, and Fred Lynn, center fielder. That's an interesting little story there, Mr. Midlife. I didn't know that, but that certainly E4 and Wiggins kind of go together. Hello, Prague. How you doing? Runners at the corners, 2 outs, and here comes Fred Lynn. He's getting a $188, but he does have 5 homers and 10 driven in. So at least he has the power going. That's a 3-8, and it's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. In fact, it's going to go as a fielder's choice. Call it 6-4 as they get Murray going into first base. So the fielder's choice will take care of the Orioles in the first. They get 2 hits, but nothing else to cause any damage. And we go to the bottom of the first. Baltimore nothing. Milwaukee coming to bat. And left-hander Mike Flanagan is on the mound for the Orioles. Flanagan comes into this game 0-2 with a 5.14 earned run average. 14 innings pitched, but he's given up 23 hits in those 14 innings. 5 walks and 7 strikeouts. No home runs, so that's, I guess, one positive. He has not given up any home runs yet. All right, here's Paul Molitor. He's going to lead off. He's hitting .409. 5 homers, 18 driven in. That's a 2-5 against the lefty. It's a ground ball to short, and Ripken will throw out Molitor. 1 away. It's a good start for Flanagan. You want to keep Molitor off the bases. He is their catalyst. Here's Robin Yount. He's hitting .277, 5 homers, 17 driven in. Hello, Mr. RJL. It's a 1-6 against the lefty, and that's a 1-5 triple. 11 is a single, so it will be a single for Robin Yount. 1 out single. Let's see. To get the lead, he needs a 5 or a 6. A 5 or a 6. Hello, Mr. Little. Good to see you. A 5 or a 6 will get him the lead. And he cannot get the lead, so Robin Yount will hold. And that brings up Glenn, no brags, just facts, right fielder. And on the replay, he is hitting .349, 2 homers, and 15 runs driven in. So 1-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Flanagan gets the K on Braggs. Nothing to brag about there on the strikeout. 2 down, and here comes Rob Bombardier. See what he can do. Deer on the replay hitting .304. He only hit .238 in real world, but it's only been 56 at bats. So I imagine that things will average out later. 4 homers, 15 driven in. Take the stats with a grain of salt because it's early. 111. That's a hit by pitch. So Flanagan plunks Deer. Deer not too happy about it. But he trots on to first base. Yount will go to second. Clutch situation now for Cecil Cooper, the designated hitter. And Cooper is hitting .300. Even .300 in 40 at bats. 4 homers, 11 driven in. Hello, Mr. Dan. How are you? Flanagan. Whoops. Boy, I had that Mexican jumping dice in the game yesterday, and it's coming up again today for whatever reason. 4-12. It's a fly ball to right field, and that's going to end the inning. So Flanagan gets Cooper to fly to right, and at the end of 1 complete, we got no score. I certainly hope this game is closer than the game I played yesterday in Strat-O-Matic where boy, it was rough because it was 8-0 before you even knew what was going on. Yankees were all over Cleveland, so hopefully this game will not follow that pattern. So here is Mr. Birkbeck facing Mr. Ray Knight, maybe more well known for his association with Nancy Lopez. He's hitting 290, 4 homers, 7 runs driven in, although he did manage the Reds in 1996. Again, it's jumping around. What is the deal with this? I'm not doing anything differently. I don't know why these dice are doing that. Overly energetic, I guess. 2-9, and that's a ground ball to short. Swain will handle it. One away. And that will bring up Terry Kennedy, the catcher. Kennedy's hitting 219, 6 homers, 13 driven in. 4-5. And against the lefty, that is another strikeout for Birkbeck. Actually, it's the first strikeout for Birkbeck. First one of the game. I'm kind of anticipating a high-scoring game because neither one of these pitchers are that dominant. Even though Birkbeck's 3-0, he's still got a relatively, well, his ERA is 2.21, but in the real world, he was 1-4 with a 6.20 ERA. So, not exactly Bob Gibson or anything. Hello, Doug. How you doing? Hello, Utah Mike. Let's see. Larry Sheets, the batter, hitting 194, no homers and 2 driven in. 3-9, and that's a walk. So it's a 2-out walk to Larry Sheets. And that will send up Jim Dwyer, the designated. Sheets not going to be held. And Dwyer, limited duty in 21 at-bats. He is hitting 381, 2 homers, 3 driven in. 1-9, and that is a single. There's a clutch there, but the runner is not in scoring position, so the single will stand. And it's to center field. Sheets doesn't run all that well, so they will hold him at second base. So first and second with 2 outs. Orioles did the same thing in the first. The first 2 made outs, and the next 2 got hits. Same patterns has happened here, but now it's going to take a 2-out single from Ken Gerhardt. Gerhardt flew out to center his first chance. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-6. That's a 17. So it ends up being a line out to short to end the inning. So the Orioles leave 2 more on base. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. From Milwaukee County Stadium. Hello, Double D. You could be right about that. Maybe the daytime they're a little bit less enthusiastic dice. I don't know. Here's Dale Swain hitting 267, a homer, and 9 driven in. Switch hitter batting right-handed, 2-7, and he's going to strike out right-handed. So Flanagan gets his second K of the season, or not the season, of the game. Hope he's got more than 2 Ks in the whole season. And in fact, he does. He's got 9 strikeouts on the season in 15 innings. All right, here's catcher Bill Schroeder. He's hitting 265, no homers, and 5 runs driven in. 4-7 against the right-hander. Ground ball second base X. That's Wiggins. 4-E-15, so gate E4 might be open. 4-14. 4-14 is a G2. He'll get to it. But you got to check that error. He's an E15, so he's got to avoid 14, 17, and 18 plus a 3. So he's got to avoid 3, 14, 17, and 18. And he does. So this time Wiggins is able to make the play and throw Schroeder out for out number 2. And here comes Jim Paciorek. He's in there giving Greg Brock the game off against the left-hander. So Paciorek is hitting 400. He's 4 for 10 on the season. No homers and 1 run driven in. Limited duty, obviously, but they feel like he can hit lefties pretty well. 3-9, and that's a ground ball to short. So he didn't hit him too well that time. Ripken makes the play. And at the end of 2 innings, we got no score from County Stadium in Milwaukee. First game of the April 26th block. And here comes Alan Wiggins, second baseman, 0 for 1 his first attempt. He grounded to short. 6-4, switch hitting main left. 6-4 is a ballpark single check. Again, it's a 1-6. That's a 17. He will pop it up to short. And there's one away. So 1 down. And that will send up Ripken. Ripken walked and was stranded at third base his first time up. 4-3. And that's a 1-12 single. Anything else is a liner to short. That's an 18. He's going to line it to short. So 2 down. And it's up to Eddie Murray. He did get a single his first time up. 4-8. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 4-8 is another single. So 2 for 2 for Eddie Murray. But Murray, no threat to run. He will hold. He will not be held, but he will hold at first base. And here's Freddie Lynn. No relation to Loretta. See what he can do. Gets Birkbeck 210, and that's a solid home run right there for Freddie Lynn. A 210. Look at it again. 210. No D20 did. 210 is a solid home run. And for Freddie Lynn, that is home run number 6. RBIs 11 and 12. And the Orioles take a 2-0 lead on the Fred Lynn blast. So the innocent 2-out single by Murray kept the inning going for Fred Lynn. And it has been profitable. A 2-run home run gives the Orioles a 2-0 lead, which is rare, especially against the Brewers. But here's Ray Knight. That's a 4-11. And that is a ground ball pitcher X. Birkbeck is an E33. He's a 2 E33. 2 and a 5, he'll get to it. But now we got to check the E33 for a pitcher. E33, he's got to avoid 3, 8, 11, 12, 13, 16. 11 through 13 and a 16. So 3, 8, 11 through 13 and a 16. And that is a total of 12. And doggone, he might have done it. E33. Nope, there's a 12 right there. So it will be a 1-base error on Birkbeck. That will keep the inning going. E1. And Knight will be at first base with 2 outs for Terry Kennedy. Hello, Spokane Steve. How you doing? Orioles with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third, which is definitely a rarity for them in 1987 against the Brewers. Here's Kennedy, 5-5, and that's a ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning. But the 2-run home run from Freddie Lynn, his 6th of the season, gives the Orioles a 2-0 lead. And Mike Flanagan is in charge of holding that lead. Flanagan, though, is 0 for 2 on the season on the replay. So he could definitely use a win. So could the Orioles, as they already trail the Brewers by 9 games. So leading off for the Brew Crew is the number 9 man, Juan Castillo. He's in limited duty. He's only 1 for an 11, which is an 0.91 average. No homers and 1 run driven in. That is a 5-8 switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's a double to left field. So how about that? Castillo comes out firing with a double. That'll help the average. Castillo will not be held at second base. And here's Paul Molitor. Back on the Brew Crew. 2 runs mean nothing to them the way they can score runs. Nothing on the Havoc. Flanagan to Molitor. That's a 2-8 against the lefty. It's a ground ball to short, and that will freeze second base. So he couldn't even move the runner up. He couldn't move it to the right side. That would have moved the runner to third, but didn't happen. And here is Mr. Robin Yount. Yount singled his first time up. It's a 3-5 against the lefty. He's going to fly to left field. So Flanagan 1 out away from pitching around the leadoff double. And Glenn Bragg struck out his first time up. He's up in a clutch situation. He will lose a single on a 2-3 in the clutch factor against lefties, so he's got to avoid a 2-3 or he will lose that single. 2-8 is not going to do him any better either. It's ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Flanagan pitches around the leadoff double. And at the end of 3, it is still 2-0 Orioles. Flanagan going 3 shutout innings so far. Brewer fans in the stands are not used to this. All right, Larry Sheets will lead things off. He walked his first chance. That's a 5-8 left-handed, pops it up to second base, and Castillo is there. 1 away. And that'll bring up Jim Washer and Dwyer. And he may tag the single his first time up. Don't know why I rolled that. I didn't need that. That's a 1-7, and that's a 1-2 double. Anything else, he will fly to center, and that's a 9. So he'll fly it out to Yount. Out number 2. Flip the order over to Gerhardt. He's 0 for 2. Orioles never really found a decent leadoff hitter in 1987. It's a 1-4, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-6, but that's a 19, so he's going to line at third base. And that's going to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down go the O's. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0. And Rob Deere will lead off. He was hit by the pitch his first time up. Wasn't too happy about it. He might have some payback for Flanagan in mind. We shall see. It's a 6-8, and he's going to definitely have a payback. 1-3 is a double, 4-20 is a single. It'll be a leadoff single for Rob Deere. Deere, no threat to run. Well, actually, you know what? He's got the asterisk. You have to hold him on. Let me see what he did in real world as far as steals go. Let's see. He did steal 12 bases, got caught 4 times, so he actually ran more than what I thought. So they will have to hold him on, and he will try for the lead. Needs a 7 to get the lead. Doesn't get the lead, but that's a 2. He could possibly have a balk here. That's the rule in Super Advanced. If you roll a 2, it's a possible balk on the pitcher. However, Flanagan is a 0 balk rating, so no chance of a balk there. So we're going to move on, but Deere does not get the lead, and we will move on to Cecil Cooper. That's a 2-9. Left-handed is a ground ball first base B. So Murray will field it, throw to short for the force, but that's all they'll get. Was not hit hard enough to turn the 2, but they do get the lead. Lead duck on the pond has been erased. New runner is Cooper. He will not be held. And here's Dale Swain. Strikeout victim, his first chance. Switch hitter, as many of the Brewers are. 3-7. And he will strike out from the right-hand side once again. So Swain 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Maybe he hits better from the left side. I don't know. He's just not having luck today or tonight or whenever you're watching this, if you're watching it later. Here's Schroeder. (1-7), and he struck him out. So Flanagan's been impressive. 4 shutout innings for Mike Flanagan, and at least up to this point, he is doing the job, and the Orioles lead it 2-0. Here's Birkbeck. He's got a 5 for fatigue, so this is his point of weakness beginning that we have to keep an eye on. And Alan Wiggins, who's 0 for 2, will lead it off. That's a 4-10. Switch hitter batting left. That's an in-home run chance, 1-5, but he has weak power, but that's a 7 anyway, so it's a fly to right. It would have been a single otherwise, but instead, Braggs hauls it in for out number 1. And here's Cal Ripken. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a liner to short. 2-7, and that's a 1-14 single. That's a 5. It's a base hit for Cal Ripken. His first hit of the game. He will not be held. It won't go anywhere. And here comes Eddie Murray. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Brewers would like to double play. That's a 2-9, and they get it right on cue. 2-9 is a ground ball first base A. That's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. Turn by Paciorek and Swain. And the pitcher's best friend takes care of the Orioles here in the top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still 2-0 Orioles. And bottom of the order coming up for the Brewers, Jim Paciorek, followed by Castillo and then Molitor. Paciorek was 0 for 1 with the ground ball to short in his first opportunity. 1-4, he's going to ground it to third. So he's trying all the infielders apparently. And Ray Knight was up for the task. One down, here's Castillo. He doubled in his only at bat. 1-6, and he's going to have a base hit here. 1-15 is a single. That's a 13. So Castillo, a 1-out single, brings the tying run to the plate. He will try for the lead. Needs a 3 through 6 to try to get that lead, and he gets it with a 5. So he will go. He's a 17, being held as a 15. -2 is a 13. So 1-13, and he will steal it. And he's caught stealing. Terry Kennedy threw him out as Wiggins put on the tag. So maybe Brewers trying to get something going, try to be aggressive, but it just didn't work on that particular occasion. And now there are 2 outs with the bases cleared for Paul Molitor, who's grounded to short twice. He and Ripken becoming good friends in this game. 3-12 to the lefty. That's a ballpark blast, but that's a 20, so that's not going to cut it. It's going to be a fly to left that Gerhardt puts away at the warning track. And at the end of 5, Orioles, lo and behold, still holding on to that 2-0 lead. And the fans here at County Stadium are getting a little restless. And the guy that gave them that lead, Fred Lynn, is up again. He had a 2-run homer for the only runs of the game. Birkbeck 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third. And Molitor will take care of that. No action in either bullpen just yet. Here's Ray Knight. Reached on the error by Birkbeck his last time up. 4-6, and that's a solid single. Single by Knight. He will not be held. And now the Brewer bullpen is starting to stir a little bit down there. Here's Kennedy. Left-handed action in the Brewer bullpen as they have Paul Mirabella, a lefty, loosely in their bullpen. Here's Kennedy. Knight not being held. Kennedy's 0 for 2. 5-3, and that's a ground ball first base X. The first baseman was not holding the runner, so that means that Paciorek keeps his full 4 for his range, which isn't great to begin with. 4 and a 19, though. This could be a double play, possibly. 4 and a 19 is a G1. Had he been holding the runner, he'd have been a 5, and it would have been a G2, but he wasn't holding the runner. So his error rating is E25. He's got to avoid 9, 11, 12, 14, 17, and 18, and a 3. That's a lot of numbers to avoid. But he's got to avoid, let's use this card to figure it out here. E25, he's got to avoid those numbers right there at the top of the line. That's an 11. He does not avoid the 11. That's going to be an error on Paciorek right there. An error on Paciorek. Second error of the game on the Brew Crew. Not helping their cause, so it could have been a double play, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It turns into a one-base error. And Birkbeck really could have used that defensive double play, but he will have to do without it. Here's Larry Sheets. 0 for 1. Birkbeck looking for a double play if he can get it, if his defense can do it for him. 3-4, and he does, right on cue. 3-4 is a ground ball third base A. That will go around the horn. 5-4-3, double play. Gets him out of the jam and gets the Brewers out of the inning. Go to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-0. Very unusual game, 2-0. I was expecting more of a 10-8 game, but Both pitchers have other ideas. This is Flanagan's fatigue inning. He's got a 6 for his fatigue, so we'll start checking that. Yount is 1 for 2, single and a fly to left. That's a 6-5, and that is a fly to center. So Yount now 0 for 2. Flanagan definitely pitching above his skis right now. Here's Glenn Braggs. He's 0 for 2. 3-11, and that's a ground ball to second baseman Wiggins. Makes the play easily, 2 down. And the Brew Crew fans are sipping on another beer and just can't believe what they're seeing. Here's Deere. He singled him and hit by a pitch. 2-3, and that's a fly ball to right field, put away out there by Sheets, and that's going to do it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Flanagan. He keeps full endurance. As we played 6, it is still 2-0. And now let's see if Birkbeck wants to continue or if the Brewers want to continue. Tom Treblehorn might be going to the bullpen, possibly. We got a lefty, righty, and a switch. So what do they want to do with Birkbeck? Boy, I think they're going to make a call to the bullpen. So that's going to do it for Birkbeck. The call has been made to the bullpen. It will not be Mirabella as originally thought, though. They will go with a right-hander out of the bullpen. And the right-hander is going to be Chuck Creme de la Creme. He will be on to pitch for the Brew Crew. He is 0-0 with 3 saves and a 1.59 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 11 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He does have a relief factor of 3, so he can give him some innings if need be, as he starts the 7th against Jim Dwyer. So Krim will be on. Let's get the totals on Birkbeck before I forget. We'll go to the box score for that, so I can save myself some math. So Birkbeck's going to go 6 innings, gives up 6 hits, 3 runs. Wait, where did I get 3 runs from? That shouldn't be 3 runs. It should only be 2 runs. That's 2 runs. I don't know where I was getting 3 runs from. 2 runs. They were both earned. 1 walk. I'm sorry, 2 walks and 1 strikeout. But he's on the hook for the loss because his team is not scoring him any runs. All right, we go to the top of the 7th. It'll be Dwyer. And that 6-6 left-handed is a single to center field, so Dwyer comes out hitting his 2nd hit of the game. 7th hit for the O's. And here comes Gerhardt. Dwyer, no threat to run, so he's not going to be held. Krim to Gerhardt. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. That's Deere. He's a 3 and an E10. So a 3 and an 18, obviously he'll get to it. It's the E10 they got to be concerned about. E10, he makes an error on a 3, a 4, or a 14 through 18. So 3, 4, or 14 through 18, he will make an error. And that's an 11, so he's good to go. So Deere will make the catch. And there's 1 away. So he was not a deer in headlights for that play. He actually made the catch. Here's Wiggins. Switch hitter who is 0 for 3. They dropped him from the leadoff spot to the 2 spot, but it's not helping. 2-3. It's ground ball to first base A. That will be a 3-6-3 double play turned by the Brew Crew, and that is their 2nd double play they have turned in the game. Actually, 3rd double play. All for the last 3 innings have ended in double plays. So that's kept the Orioles at bay. Nothing going on there. So we were at the 7th inning stretch. Hyphen mean under ground ball C? I think the hyphen, if you're talking about the hyphen or you're talking about the, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Chuck. Ground ball C hyphen. I didn't see a hyphen. Sometimes these are underlined. And when they're underlined, it talks about old season that had lots of errors, like dead ball type things. But I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, so I don't know for sure on that. All right, so Flanagan has he has full endurance because he gave up nothing in his fatigue inning. Yeah, underline. When you see anything underlining, whether it's a ground ball A, ground ball C, or whatever, that talks about back in the old, like dead ball errors or the old, I forget what you call them, but there's something out there. It's for those seasons that have lots of errors. Not sure where it is in the rule book specifically, but I know it's in there somewhere. Might even be in the basic part of the rule book, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure I could find it later if I really look for it. But the game rolls on. So Flanagan will be facing Cooper, and Cooper is 0 for 2. That's a 3-7 left-handed. He's going to strike out. So, boy, Flanagan is pitching a whale of a game here. His 5th strikeout. And if you can shut out these Brewers, you're doing something really special. Speaking of strikeouts, here is, crosshair. Okay, thank you, Justin. I appreciate that explanation. Dale Swain, speaking of strikeouts, is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. That's a 2-9, and he will ground it to short. So Ripken is there. 2 down. And that will bring up Bill Schroeder, who is also 0 for 2, much like many of the Brewers are. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not had anything against this point of weakness. So the strikeout is good. Strikeout number 6 for Flanagan. And he has tossed 7 shutout innings at the Brewers. We go to the 8th inning. It's still 2-0. 2-0. And I forgot to mention, I was going to mention this at the 7th inning stretch, and I failed to do so. But the next game on the schedule, which will be game number 122 and the game number 2 of the April 26th block, will feature a decent pitching matchup. The teams are terrible, but the pitching matchup's good. It's Boston against Texas, Roger Clemens against Charlie Huff. But Boston's 2-15 and Texas is 7-9. But at least it's a kind of a marquee pitching matchup. That will be the next Strat game, probably Tuesday night, I'm thinking. Justin, this project is every single game. I'm doing every single game in the American League. It's going to take a while, but that's what I'm doing. All right, so Krim will start his 2nd inning of work. And it's going to be Cal Ripken leading it off here in the 8th. I may need to move this over just a touch to make sure the cards fit in. But I'm going to lose some of the dice tray. That's the problem. I think it'll be all right. Either that or I'll move the cards over this way. Maybe that will work better. So I don't lose the dice either. All right, so Cal Ripken will lead it off for the Orioles. And Ripken is 1 for 2. Single, a walk, and a liner to short. That's a 5-7. And against Krim, 1-4 is a single. That's a 2. So Cal Ripken with the base hit. Leadoff single. He will not be held. And here comes Eddie Murray. Murray is 2 for 3. 2, so a chance of a balk or a pass ball. And we're checking the balk rating of Chuck Krim. And his balk rating, not on the card, so I got to go to the computer to get it. His balk rating is a 3. So 1-3, he will balk. He does not. So no balk is called, and we will drive on. That's a 3-5 for Eddie Murray, and that's a walk. So we didn't get a balk, but we got a walk. And now the left-hander once again, Mirabella, is loosening the bullpen for the Brewers because we got some lefties coming up. In fact, we got Ray Knight and Fred Lynn and Terry Kennedy and Sheets and Dwyer. A whole lot of lefties coming up. So definitely if we get to Kennedy, they'll probably switch and bring in Mirabella. But right now they will pitch to Lynn. His 2-run homer back in the third, the only runs of the game. 5-5. That's ground ball second base C, so that's going to advance the runners. The only play for Castillo is to go to first, but everybody else moves up. It acts like a sacrifice bunt. So Orioles doing the Jeffersons moving on up, and Ray Knight will be up with, and they're going to bring the infield in. They're going to have to. They have to bring the infield in down 2-0. They have really no choice. Infield is in for Ray Knight's at bat. 2-7 for Knight, and that's a ground ball third base A with a plus in it. So there you go. Bringing the infield in just cost them 2 runs. Well, actually cost them a run. Actually cost, because it did cost them 2 runs because the A would have held the runners, I do believe. But the plus sign there means it gets through, and that is a 2-run single for Ray Knight, and that's going to do it for Chuck Creme de la Creme. He was not Creme de la Creme. It is now 4-0 Orioles, and that will do it for Mr. Creme. He will exit, and Paul Mirabella, a left-hander, will be coming on for the Brewers. Mirabella can't close the book yet on Creme because the run on first base is his responsibility, but it will be Terry Kennedy who will hit. And let's get the numbers on Mirabella for the replay as we bring him in. Mirabella has not pitched that much. In fact, he's only pitched 1 inning. In the replay, he's gone 1 inning. He's 0-0 with no saves and ERA of 0. 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, and no walks or strikeouts. So only his second outing of the season, so they need to get him some work anyway. But they didn't want it to be when they're down 4-0. So here's Kennedy. That's a 4-6 left-handed, and that's bad news. 1-15 is a double. It's a 2-star double, so Ray Knight will have to stop at third base. But now runners are at second and third for Larry Sheets, and again, the infield's going to have to come in. They have no choice. Infield will have to come in. Mirabella to Sheets. Whoop, again, hopping dice. Whoop, that one didn't go through either. Boy, we're having all kinds of dice problems here. Now we're straight. 111, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. So after all the jumbling, we get bases loaded. And Jim Dwyer is up. Now they're going to play back for the double play because Jim Dwyer has several ground ball A's on his card. So they're going to go for the double play here. Play back for the double play with the bases loaded and 1 out. Mirabella, 1-7, struck him out. So didn't get the double play, but they do get the strikeout. 2 down, and now the top of the order for Gerhardt. Bases loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation for Gerhardt. He will lose a single on 2-12 against the lefties on the clutch, and he also loses singles on 3-7 and 3-8. So he's definitely anti-clutch, particularly against lefties. That's a 6-11, though. It's a fly ball right field X. That is Glenn Braggs. He's a 3 E13. I like the 3. I don't like the E13. 3-20 is good, but the E13 could be problematic. So if we look at E13, he's got to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. Got to avoid those numbers. That is a 9, so he does it. So Glenn Braggs will make the play to end the inning. And despite all the offense that came out of that, the Orioles only get 2 runs. Could have been a lot worse. Brewers still technically in the game. And I think that's going to be it for Mirabella as well. So we'll go to the box score and finalize the 2 bullpen arms for the Brew Crew. Get their totals. And let's see, Krim's going to go an inning and a third, and Mirabella 2/3. 3 hits and 2 runs for Krim. They were earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts. Mirabella, a hit, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout. And Mark Crystal Clear will be coming in to pitch for the Brewers in the 9th. Flanagan pitching a shutout, so Cal Ripken Sr. says leave him out there. And he's going to be facing Pashort, Castillo, and Milder, unless the Brew Crew want to pinch hit with someone. And this is who they have on the bench. They have Surhoff, Brock, Manning, Robideau, and Gantner. The things they all have in common is they're left-handed. So they really want to keep them for when the Orioles bring a right-handed reliever in. So for right now, they're going to keep going with Pachoric. That's a 5-12, and that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-5. That's a 13, though, so it's just going to be a fly to left. Pachoric comes up just a little bit short. And there's 1 away. One down, and that's going to send up Castillo. That's a 4-9. Switch hitter batting right-handed is a 1-18 single, so that will work. Castillo out of the 9 position is 3 for 3. And down 4-0, they're not going to try to steal. They need him on base. Doesn't matter if it's first or second. They just need him on base. So he will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Molitor. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch on Flanagan. His wild pitch rating is a 4. And there is no wild pitch. It's blocked by Kennedy. So Molitor will step in there. 1-12, and that's a walk. So a walk to Flanagan. He's getting close to fatigue, so the Oriole bullpen has started to stir a bit as right-hander Mark Williamson is loosening in their bullpen. Here's Robin Yount. (3-9). 3-9 is a ground ball shortstop B. That'll be a fielder's choice. Milder's out 6-4, and Castillo will take third. But now there are 2 outs. And it'll send up Glenn Braggs. 2 outs, runners on the corners. 4-0 O's here in the bottom of the 8th. Brewers trying to break on through to the other side. 1-7, they won't do it. Braggs strikes out, and Flanagan has shut him out through 8 innings. No doubt who the MVP of this game looks like it's going to be. Hey, Hardwood, how you doing? All right, so we go to the top of the 9th, and new pitcher for the Brewers will be Mark Crystal Clear. And he will be facing Wiggins, Ripken, and Murray are the scheduled hitters. So Clear will be coming on. And on the replay, Clear is 1-0 with no saves and a 2.57 earned run average. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. So Wiggins will lead it off. We'll turn around and bat left-handed against Mr. Clear. 4-7. Switch hitter batting left is a walk. So Clear will issue the free pass to Wiggins. Wiggins will, let's see, first of all, Clear is a +1. Schroeder's a +1. That's a +2 for Clear. So Wiggins is going to look to get the lead. as the Orioles try to pour it on. He needs a 4 through 6 or a 12. And he does not get it, so he will not go anywhere. That'll bring up Cal Ripken. Ripken has singled twice, lined to short, and walked. That's a 2-6. That's a ground ball shortstop A. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. That's the fourth double play turn by the Brewers in this game. And just no telling how much the run differential would be without these double plays, but they've turned 4 of them. And that brings up Eddie Murray. Murray has singled twice and walked, scored 2 runs. Pretty productive day. 3-6 for Murray. He's going to fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Orioles as Clear pitches a scoreless ninth. So it's down to this. Bottom of the ninth we go. And there will be a defensive replacement for Wiggins. They will bring in Rene Gonzalez as he's a little bit better at second base. Not a whole lot, but 3 E32. It's better range, but his error rating is higher. So, boy, which way do you go with that? Do you go with, you know what, they're going to stick with Wiggins. I don't like Gonzalez's high error rating. So we're going to stick with Wiggins. We change our mind. All right, so Flanagan is going to come out and pitch the ninth, but Williamson is ready in the pen if needed. It's going to be Deere, Cooper, and Swain, although we'll probably get a pinch hitter for Cooper. Although, like I said, everybody on the bench is left-handed. So it's just a matter of if they want to try somebody else from the left-hand side, not named Cooper. And it looks like, I'm looking at Cooper's card, Cooper will be called back. B.J. Surhoff will pinch hit for Cooper. So it's actually going to be Deere, Surhoff, and Swain due up in the ninth for the Brew Crew. Deere, Surhoff, and Swain. So Surhoff will pinch hit in the ninth. And if it goes extra innings, he'll stay in as the DH. Right now, Flanagan facing Deere. 1-7. Whoops, helps to have his card up there, but 1-7 is a strikeout for Deere. 1 away, so Flanagan 2 outs away from a shutout, an improbable shutout of the Brewers. So here's Surhoff, and first at bat of the game for Surhoff, obviously, as he's pinch hitting for Cooper. On the replay for Surhoff, let's get his numbers. Surhoff, there you are. Surhoff in for Cooper, and Surhoff on the replay is hitting .324. No homers and a run driven in. It's a 6-9, and that's a fly to center field. 2 down. Last chance is Dale Swain. Swain on the replay is 0 for 4. On this game, rather, is 0 for 4. Do they pinch hit? Well, he's a right-hander. Switch hitter, I mean. So he's got some diamond shots. If he finds that column 3, he can do some damage. But he did not. 6'10 is a catcher X. That is Kennedy, and he's a 4, E4. 4 and an 18 for a catcher. So 4 and an 18 for a catcher is a G3. It'll be a ground out. Assuming there's no error, the game will be over. He's an E4. The only way he makes an error is a 16, 17, or 18. That's the only thing that would keep this game going. That is 15. So he just missed it. 17. It's a G3, 2-3 grounder. And again, it's just tossed a shutout at the mighty Milwaukee Brewers. Orioles win it 4-0 over the Brew Crew. Wow. Amazing stuff here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so clear in the ninth. 1 inning. No runs. 1 walk, no strikeouts. Flanagan is going to go to a full 9. The full 9 for Flanagan. Why is I'm looking at my screen and it's getting all weird. Why is it getting weird? It's like I'm losing bandwidth or something. I skipped Deer on the score sheet. Oh, yeah, I put them in wrong. My bad. That's why I have correction tape. That's why I have correction tape. The 8 is there, and this is the 2, 3. It's messy, I know, because I screwed it up. Thank you for letting me know that. The fly to center. It's all in the computer, so we're all good to go. Actually, that's a fly to center. Let's make that a little bit more legible. Fly to center. So there we go. So for no runs and 5 hits and 2 errors for the Brew Crew. So he's going to pitch a 5-hit shutout, Will Flanagan. And like I said, I don't know why on my computer screen, I don't know why it's all fuzzy like that, like I'm losing bandwidth or something. I don't know why that would be, but not sure about that for whatever reason. But the Brewers take a unexpected loss. That's why you play the games. You can't do it on paper. 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Orioles. And no runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors for the Brewers. Flanagan, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. A dominant performance by Mr. Mike Flanagan, who was 6-8 on the season with a 4.06 earned run average. He got traded to Toronto later this season, but boy, he does the job here. And left on base, the Orioles left on 8, Brewers left on 6. So the Brewers will fall to 14-3. The Orioles will go to 7-12. Flanagan improves to 1-2, and he lowers his ERA to 3.13. Mike Birkbeck takes his first loss of the season. He's now 3-1, and his ERA is now 2.55. Again, player of the game, home runs of the game, actually, only one. It was a 2-run homer from Freddie Lynn that got the Orioles off to all the scoring they needed. But Mike Flanagan was the man. 5-hit shutout. I sound fuzzy now. So not only is the stuff, I wonder what's causing that. I don't know why. It's funny because on my computer screen, it looks fine, but when I look at it on my phone, it's all fuzzy. So I don't understand the difference there, but I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that on my end here. I'm looking at it on my computer screen on YouTube, and it looks fine. But when I look at it on my phone, it looks fuzzy, and I don't know. I'm not a technical guru, so I don't know what the cause of it is. To do with bandwidth, I don't know. But anyway, hopefully the whole game. Flanagan gets the win. Orioles improved to 7-12. Brewers dropped to 14-3. And of course, the next game, probably on Tuesday, will be Boston at Texas, where it'll be Roger Clemens against Charlie Huff. Although Boston is 2-15 and Texas is 7-9, but the pitching matchup is pretty good. The aces of both teams, Clemens and Huff, that will be the next game on the schedule. Yes, buffering probably sounds about right. So probably telling me it's time for me to get ready for bed. That's what it's probably telling me. So I do appreciate all you guys tuning in and watching the Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced Replay 1987 style. Hopefully you found some entertainment value in that. Probably on Wednesday, I will probably do something with the History Maker 1990 Reds in their final game against the Phillies. But Tuesday, most likely, I'll be jumping on this on Tuesday. If not tomorrow night, it'll be Tuesday night for sure. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all had a pleasant weekend. And for a lot of us, it's back to work tomorrow. But coming off a restful weekend. Yeah, Tabby's she's downstairs sleeping. So, but she might be the cause of this. She may be the one that's causing this thing to act up. You never know. All right, so that's going to do it from here. Again, thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play. And as usual, I'll see you all down the road.